Dirkens here. The very first real weekend of college football just kicked off yesterday. I know last week, I think, what was that, August 25th, we had a bunch of crap games. We had the Blind Boys of Mississippi playing the Turd Sniffers of Oregon. We don't care about that. Yesterday, the teams we cared about, the teams that's going to actually do something, they came out in the droves. It was great. Everybody, thank you for saying hey. Clemson Jacob, Browser Nation, Air Max the Legend, all of y'all, thank you for saying hey. Brett Lag, good to see you boys. Everybody who will watch this video in the future, thank you so much. Be sure to share this video. Share it, share it. Hey Will, hey Brett, I'm doing good. I tell you what's up. I am, because my Tigers, we knew they were going to win. We knew they were going to win. I'm going to start off with them. And I'm going to recap what went on yesterday as fast as I can, really in the top 25. Okay? So share this if you will. You can find me on Twitter at bdirkens, BDIRKENS, and on Instagram at @TheBobbyDirkens. Please share, like, and subscribe if you hadn't already. Washington Huskies, good to see you. I'm going to get to you in just a second on your scores. Let's start off yesterday with the true #1 team in the country, the Clemson Tigers. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this. They started Bryant, said they were going to start Bryant. Dabo come out, said they're going to start Bryant. You know, they started him. I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to have to see what develops, especially next weekend. Next weekend when we play Texas A&M is very pivotal based off of what I saw yesterday. It was the right thing to start him. He started him. He come out. You know, it looked like he was trying to get loosened up. Never really saw him get really comfortable. He did have a 35-yard touchdown run. He did throw a touchdown down the sideline to Amari Rogers. Trevor Lawrence, he comes out. Everybody's dying to see him play. He's kind of struggled a little bit in the beginning. And then after a little bit, threw 3 touchdowns. He was 9 of 15, about 137 yards. Lynn J. Dixon came in the game, ran well. I mean, it looked great. Looked really, really good. Galloway, he got a catch. Justin Ross got a catch for a touchdown. Galloway, as I said, he got a catch for a touchdown. I'm telling you, ball distribution was great. This quarterback thing did not get any easier yesterday. In fact, it got worse. Okay, so what will I do? That was the first game. They got to get the EBGBs off of them. And then we got to chill out and figure out who's going to be the quarterback. Because next week we can't have anybody, as long as, all I'll say is, yesterday we didn't play anybody. Somebody just said we played nobody, basically. And you're right. Great. That's fine. We'll meet us anywhere, anytime. We'll come play you. And as long as if we can get our quarterback situation figured out, and I'm going out on a limb here, if we get our quarterback situation figured out, guess what? We beat everybody. Hello! You, my bro. It's good to see you, my buddy. Thank you all for joining me. So let's move through this. Clemson wins 48-7. They played Furman. We figured it was going to go that way. I know of everybody's healthy. Got a lot of playing time. Next week, big game. I will be doing the preview of the Texas A&M game. Next, we have Alabama versus Louisville. Look's first game since Lamar Jackson's gone. Last year, the talent with Louisville actually had already fell off. Lamar Jackson had lost some weapons. Then they lose Jackson. They play Alabama, I believe, in Orlando. J1 pass was 20 of 39. 252 yards, 2 touchdowns. Damian Harris, he scored, or he ran the ball a little bit, but they were too much for Louisville. They won 51-14. I expected that. I didn't expect Alabama to lose that game, or even Louisville to compete. Next, we have Georgia played Austin Peay. I called this. Everybody called it. The only good things that come out of games like this, and like for Clemson, is that you got to see the big stars like Trevor Lawrence come out for Clemson. In this case, you got to see Justin Fields come out and play for Georgia. Georgia won 45-0. Jake Fromm 12-16, about 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, Clemson, they were trying to get him try to get him in or try to get him to come to Clemson, and he ended up staying down there in that area. He's from that Elbert County, Georgia area. Good player. He had some 2 receptions, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Next, Ohio State. Ohio State played yesterday, played Oregon State. Oregon State sucks. Got a new coach from what I can remember. They won 77-31. Big deal. Next week, you play basically nobody, and then after that you play TCU. We'll see how that works out. Let's see. Auburn and Washington. This was a game I actually missed. I predicted that Washington was going to win this game. Washington did not look horrible. And the reason I picked Washington, between you and I, is because Auburn's schizophrenic. Remember, the same team who beat Georgia and Alabama last year also managed to lose like 4 games. Now, one of them I will say was Clemson. Now, I understand that loss. But anyway, Auburn comes out victorious 21-16. Washington did not look horrible. I just think it took Washington a little longer to get things going. Once Washington's defense started cranking up, they limited what Auburn did. 15 of the 21 points that Auburn scored came in the first half. They could only muster up 6 points in the second half. But then again, 13 of the 16 points of Washington came in the first half. Both defenses really locked down. If there's one spot that you could look at for both teams and say what was really impressive was impressive. I can't think. Might be having a stroke. Somebody call somebody. Really, what was impressive about Washington and Auburn yesterday is that they made defensive adjustments in the second half, and it was really, really stout. So good job to both their defenses. Can I say that Washington's out of the playoff hunt? The truth, all I'll say is it doesn't look good. And I know you say, Bobby, it's at the very beginning of the season. Why would you say that? Because they're competing against a predominantly Southern-based football team and Ohio State. Committee picking mind, their mind's kind of there. You understand what I'm saying? I said this, Washington Huskies, I'm sorry. I told you that Washington had to win this game yesterday. Are they completely out of the hunt? Well, by numbers, no. But they didn't help themselves. Because if it's a toss-up between them and a one-loss Ohio State, if it's a toss-up between them and a one-loss SEC team, if it's a toss-up between them and a one-loss Clemson, which Clemson shouldn't lose a game this entire season, I just think you're going to be on the outside looking in. Gerald Phillips, thank you for congratulating us. West Virginia, y'all looked good yesterday. I'll get to that game in a second. Another game I missed. I missed 3 games yesterday. This was the second one. I said that Florida Atlantic could even possibly beat Oklahoma. I was dead wrong. Kind of like that time I was working in that big box store. Across the way, I saw long blonde hair, and I was like, I might want to get her. This is when I was single. I might get over there and try to get me a phone number. If I'm lucky, she'll give me all 7 of them. Got over there. It was a dude with long blonde hair. I was sick. I wanted to throw up. I ran the other way. I was just about as wrong as this one. Oklahoma beat them 63-14. I really don't know what happened to the Fighting Lane Kiffins. But, yeah. I don't get it. But it is what it is. They lost 63-14. Next, the game. Oh, my God. This game, 11 years to the day, Appalachian State, 11 years ago from yesterday, they beat Michigan at the Big House. Yesterday, they took Penn State to overtime. It took Penn State beating them in overtime to win 45-38. Late interception at the very end of the game by App State ended the ball game. Here's the deal. I hate it for them. It was an almost deal, but it is what it is. Penn State beats Appalachian State in Happy Valley 45-38 in overtime. I mean, Zach Thomas was 25-38, about 270 yards, 2 touchdowns against Penn State. They had that 100-yard, you know, the truth is that when you get a track star out there and they break loose, I don't care if they're playing for Doo-Doo State. The truth is they're going to outrun you. And yesterday, that's what happened with that 100-yard return or 99-yard return by Appalachian State's guys. So this game, I was wrong on it. I was wrong on this one. This three out of the last 4 games, I was wrong. Other ones I nailed. This one I did go out on a limb. Notre Dame held off Michigan 24-17. I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. The defense from Michigan looked questionable at times. At the same time, I think Notre Dame has gotten better. I don't want to jump on the whole Notre Dame bandwagon thing, because here's the deal. Here's the deal. Remember about 3 or 4 years ago when they were undefeated and killing everybody, and then all of a sudden it's like their bus got hit by a bomb. Everybody died, and then they sent people out that looked like the same players, but they played horrible, and they dropped like 4 of the last 5 games. I remember that, and you should too. Notre Dame, they make a very compelling argument that they've gotten better. Especially losing McGlinchey and Nelson and Josh Adams and a few other players, and they did that well. The only thing is, how good is Michigan's offense? It looked very questionable. I was actually impressed with that McCaffrey kid when he came out and took Shea Patterson when he was cramping out, when he took his place. I was surprised. But Notre Dame, you won 24-17. No hard feelings. Brody L., I know you're going to be saying something to me, and you'd be right in this case. Next game. This one actually was close earlier on in the game. At halftime, it was 19-14 Southern Cal. But Southern Cal ends up beating UNLV 43-21. I think there's some questions. Brody L., I told you, I didn't know if you were watching or not, but you got me. But congrats to you boys. You boys, hey, I don't mind saying I'm wrong. But when I feel like I'm making a good, educated decision, I'll stick with it. Congrats to you boys. Notre Dame looking like they improved, especially without Nelson, McGlinchey, and Josh Adams. I mean, it is what it is. So y'all should feel good. So Southern Cal, questionable. And Brody L., that's big to you and anybody other Notre Dame fan. That's a question. They struggled that bad against UNLV. That is what it is. Browser Nation, you said I have 1,100 subscribers. Thank you so much for noticing that. This is, I've been surprised, but I enjoy myself. I'm like I don't know, an extremely, what's the proper way to say it? An extremely obese person sitting at a Golden Corral. I'm happy. I mean, I'm that close to diabetic booties, but I'm happy. Going back here, TCU played Southern. You know how that ended up happening. They won 55-7. A couple of weeks they'll play Ohio State. And then a game that I absolutely took so much crap for saying that that Tennessee was going to lose. Now, my good friend Volunteer Roadshow, in which, by the way, I was the special guest on Volunteer Roadshow this past Friday night. Go and check that out. If you don't know Volunteer Roadshow, you are missing out. You need to hit it. I did get in an argument with a couple of people. Go figure. And a guy from Ohio State. But we trade some licks and so on. But we're men. We can take it. We can take it. He has his opinion. I have mine. I just try to be louder. And then another man threatened to smack my butt. But, no pun intended there either. He was a lot of fun to talk to. I had a lot of fun on there. Love talking to callers. Love arguing with people. But at the end of the day, we're just having good fun, and we enjoy. You know what? We're arguing about football. Isn't that awesome? That's what I love about this country. West Virginia. I expected Tennessee to play West Virginia much better. I know there was that hour-and-a-half delay, but West Virginia had that same delay. West Virginia ended up winning 40-14. I don't know. Garetano, he did better than what I thought. I was surprised he didn't start Keller Crisp, but hey, it is what it is. Will Greer, 25 of 34, 429 yards, 5 touchdowns. Here's the deal. He missed 9 passes. I sat and watched that game. Here's the deal about Will Greer. He actually could have had over 500, maybe even up to 600 yards. He missed some easy throws. And he had a drop in the end zone by David Sills, who doesn't drop much of anything, who finished with 7 receptions, 140 yards. Big bright spot for Tennessee, though. Tim Jordan had 20 carries, about 120 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. You got to take any victory you possibly can. But Tennessee, you just got to be patient with Pruitt. Mississippi State played Stephen F. Austin. Stephen F. Austin sounds like a name that you would read off, like if you were at a memorial service. And we were remembering some people who had died in the past. Like you would be John B. Moore, Dale C. Williams, Stephen F. Austin. I be bored. You know, names like that. Mississippi State beat them 63-6. It's just like that game on Clemson. You can't tell much about it other than nobody got hurt. It's good. I always live by this. When you play a bad team, you got to beat them bad. That's what. If you don't beat a bad team bad, something's wrong. Either that bad team is not as bad, or your team's not that good. It's a big deal. You got to think about that. So, Boise State played Troy. A lot of people thought Troy was going to play them close. Boise State beat them 56-20. A game that everybody, I think, missed, except for, I think, Kirk Herbstreit was about the only one who got this one. I was surprised, and now I'm scratching my head. There's probably more work to do, and I think we need to be patient with him. But Texas lost to Maryland at Maryland 34-29. Ellinger, what is that? 260. Ellinger, I don't know. Who cares? 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trey Watson, you know, he ran for like 52 yards. Here's the deal. They lost. They lost. Maryland beat you for a second year in a row. Texas, yeah, you keep hearing Texas. But I thought that Texas might be on their way up. But I was wrong on that one. I nailed most of my games I picked. But I always go back to who's wearing the headset. Tom Herman's wearing the headset. He's a really good coach. I'm just questioning about this. I'm just questioning about this. I will tell you this. Kevin Sumlin did a really good job at Houston. Kevin Sumlin then went to Texas A&M, had some problems. And then last night he was with Arizona. He has that Tate kid. And what happened? They lost. You never know. There's a lot of players who goes out. There's a lot of players who go out or coaches who go out and they coach, you know, mid-level school teams and do really well, and then they get in the big leagues and they don't do so well. So, you know, at the end of the day, he's making millions of dollars. Even if they fired him tomorrow, he'd be richer than all of us put together for a lifetime, right? So, we'll see. We'll see. It's definitely, I don't think their year. They'll probably have a few upsets here and there, but, yeah. I can imagine the state of Texas, who's the Longhorns, pretty upset right now. Last that played yesterday, Oregon beat Bowling Green 58-24. Cristobal, that's his first game. Justin Herbert, you hear about him all the time. Oh, he's dark horse for the Heisman. 21-39, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns. Boise actually ran the ball on him and had one receiver who had 166 yards off of 13 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Scott Miller, he did it. Games coming up tonight. We have Miami and LSU. Have Miami winning that ball game because I just think they have a more complete team. LSU is going to have players on their side who has talent. LSU always has some talented football players, don't you? No matter who's coaching there, they're just one of those places they draw in talent. The question is, I step back and look at does LSU have the game plan, and do they have the full coaching staff to beat Miami? And quite honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so. Miami. I think Miami is going to take this game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. Monday night we have Florida State. We have Virginia Tech. That's really a toss-up. I ain't going to lose any sleep over that one. I think I've called that Virginia Tech would win that game, but I'm thinking that Florida State might actually do it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think Florida State beats Virginia Tech, but I wouldn't be surprised. So anyway, everybody, I just want to let you know I sure do appreciate all of y'all checking in and having a good time with me. This is the best time of the year. We're living in God's country where Jesus is Lord, football is king, and I'm one of the good old preachers. So anyway, well, everybody, I'll catch you later. I will be doing my preview on the Clemson versus Texas A&M game. It's coming up this coming week down in Texas A&M. But don't mind, as I said, pass this video along. Pass the video along. Hit the subscribe button, like it, a bunch of thumbs up and everything. And subscribe if you hadn't. Thank you so much. Y'all be good. Remember, I'm Bobby Dirkens. I'm right. If you disagree with me, most likely you're wrong. Bobby Dirkens.